Today we're going to be talking about the Met Gala, but in a bit of a different way. Let's get to it, shall we? Transition. So as you may or may not know, the Met Gala just happened. It was beautiful. It was fun. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You look Linda Evangelista. You're a model. But I thought it would be interesting if instead of just talking about the Met Gala, we illustrate some looks for it. I feel like there is a oversaturation of Met Gala reviews, Met Gala analysis, the red carpet looks. And as much as I love that, I think that that's amazing. Everyone keep doing that. I would rather do something a little bit different. Now, with this year's Met Gala theme, Karl Lagerfeld, The Line of Beauty, there was a lot of different interpretations of it. We had some iconic Chanel moments, we had a little bit of Chloe references, and then of course we had images of the man himself and his cat, Choupette. This is my cat. We're gonna call him Salem. I thought it would be different if we took the completely different approach. I already did a hand-drawn illustration, as you saw, I just flaunted it. The video of that is up on my YouTube channel, as well as a Met Gala pre-analysis talking about Karl Lagerfeld and looks that I expected to see on the red carpet. I was disappointed to see none of those looks, but nonetheless, there was some really pretty looks served. If you wanna go see those looks, check out Vogue, check out the different videos on the internet. That's not what this is going to be. This is going to be us illustrating for the Met Gala. Ready? Let's go. For this theme, I did a lot of research on Karl Lagerfeld, found out a lot of questionable things that he said and done. Regardless of the controversies that he has had, I still do think that as an artist, he has assisted in creating many beautiful works of art. And I think that he has a very, very unique take and design process. We're gonna simply illustrate a look and talk about these looks. So for the first look, I know I wanted to create a women's look. You've already seen this in the hand-drawn illustration, but today we're gonna do digital versions of it. And the digital version just allows us to see really, really clean, simple details and sort of help in assisting the fantasy, especially since I didn't do a hand-drawn painting for the men's look. But I knew I wanted to create a men's and a women's look. For the women's look, I wanted to go for a ball gown. I wanted something dramatic, something that held a lot of volume. And I sort of wanted to play on some core elements of Karl Lagerfeld. I knew that I instantly wanted to sort of reference him and reference sort of the Chanel Bride. The Chanel Bride was actually a huge reference for a lot of the attendees to the Met Gala. And rightfully so. I think a lot of his more iconic looks were the Chanel Bride. Though I'm pretty sure he mentioned himself that people shouldn't go for him for bridal, but he still always designed a Chanel Bride. So I don't know, whatever. Back to the women's look. I wanted some key elements. I wanted the suiting that was present in Karl Lagerfeld's everyday look, and I wanted to sort of reconstruct that. One of my favorite designers that was presenting at the Met Gala that presented a lot of looks was Thom Browne. Thom Browne does this whole deconstructing of a suit situation, and that's something that I also enjoy doing. I wanted to take that approach. I wanted a huge ball gown with a peplum that stood above it in these beautiful wakes, and this beautiful soft pleating that held this huge shape, the structure of the peplum. For the neckline of the bodice for this gown, I wanted to play off of those suiting elements and make it a sort of deconstructed blazer situation that still had those lapels. And of course I wanted it fastened with a belt. I had debated making it the Chanel Cross C's, but I decided keeping it nice and simple would be great because I didn't want these looks to be entirely coded for Chanel. I wanted these to be more Karl Lagerfeld rather than Chanel. So that's sort of the approach that I took for this. Moving along, I knew I wanted a disconnected collar with a tie, and I wanted the leather glove to be present. Karl Lagerfeld always wore those iconic leather fingerless gloves, except I wanted to elevate it a little bit and make it an opera-length glove. And I'm not sure why no one on the red carpet did that. I feel like it was one of the easiest ideas to elevate on that fingerless glove. A lot of people just threw it in with their outfits, and that's whatever, you know, you do you. But I wanted to elevate it, and I also wanted the fabrication to be that ball gown, the huge puff. I wanted it to be referential to the Cinderella live action by Disney. So I wanted that big fluffiness, and I would probably do it out of several 100,000 layers of chiffon like they did in that dress, which would be insane, but that's what I would do. And the main body of the fabric, the self, I would have it in a white Chanel-esque tweed, maybe with some gold elements to it just so it shined and it was pretty on the red carpet, or beige carpet with toothpaste on it. I have thoughts about that red carpet, but that's not what this is about. And then I wanted to keep that leather tie and this exposed shoulder, and I think it came together quite lovely. And then I still wanted to reference Choupette a little bit, so I added a fur stole and a fur hat, sort of pushing up that opulence that he had, and even referencing Choupette just a little bit. Even though I know Choupette was a white cat, I went with a black cat because that's more appropriate to me. And this is me designing for Karl Lagerfeld. Me designing for this theme. Not me recreating Karl Lagerfeld's looks, which, you know, that's what a lot of people did. But that's not what I would do. So next I want to get into this men's look. For the men's look, I sort of wanted to take the similar elements from that women's look and reconstruct it, redesign it, remesh it to make it its own individual look, but still work well with her. So I knew I wanted to do core suiting elements. I wanted the white shirt. Karl Lagerfeld always wore a white shirt. And I wanted to do suiting elements. But I wanted to feminize it, because one of my favorite things is feminizing men's clothing for red carpet or runway. And I wanted to do a corset that looked like a peacoat almost. But of course it would be flipped around and it would have a black band and it would have the suiting elements up front with the buttons. I wanted the trouser to be relatively simple because what was going to go over it is this giant jacket-esque skirt that was attached to the belt that could eventually, if the wearer decided to, unbelt it and wear it as a coat. Versatility in fashion. This piece is a verse. I thought that this would be a really interesting way to bring the drama to this look. A lot of the men's looks on this red carpet involved capes or some sort of stole or a train of some sort. And I think that's definitely my line of thinking with this as well. There needs to be some drama to this. It's a red carpet. Where's the glamour? Where's the drama? So I thought this would be an interesting way to tie that in with the whole idea of this red carpet being very drama. And I think it's a very interesting camp reworked mindset for this design. And I sort of elevated the white shirt by using a lace material and creating a lace. And then I still used the tweed with bits of gold. And then her tweed is opposite of his. Hers is more of a white base. His is more of a black base. So they sort of stand well together and aren't exactly matchy, matchy, matchy. I wanted these two looks to go together rather than match. That's why they have the different fabrics. One is more white, the other one is more black. So they stand well together. And then I kept, of course, the tie. I kept the leather glove, and I kept the iconic Karl Lagerfeld sunglasses, except I wanted to tie them into the look a little bit better together. So I did them in a lace, or sort of a lace overlay. I remember seeing, you know, glasses with like lace imprinted onto them, or maybe they're made entirely of lace. I don't know. I haven't made this. I didn't get a chance to make this. This stuff would be too expensive for me to make in my current situation. Nonetheless, these looks were extremely fun to create. I kind of have a tradition of always designing looks for the Met Gala, and this is just a small little taste. I've been illustrating and designing looks for the Met Gala since I was in high school, so I kind of have a lot of references to pick and choose from. Ting. Okay, sort of final thoughts. The Met Gala, I think, is a very, very amazing thing for designers and people in fashion. It's nicknamed the Super Bowl of fashion, and I think that's because anybody who loves, interested, and shows an appreciation for fashion flocks to their TVs and live streams to intake all the beauty and, of course, the looks and the memes that come from the looks and all its beauty. So I hope that this inspired you all to create and illustrate something for the Met Gala. I definitely challenge you all. This theme is very cookie cutter, so I hope that next year's theme is a little bit more complicated and elaborate. I hope in the future Met Gala themes inspire the viewers with complicated ideas and concepts, very similarly to past years. Camp, Ex Machina, Heavenly Bodies. I think that there's a lot more elaborate themes. And I do think while this one was obviously to pay homage to someone we lost in the industry, I don't know why the Met Gala wasn't just, the theme was in mourning. Because we've lost a lot of amazing people in fashion. Why does this one person deserve the spotlight? That's just my opinion on it. It would have been more diverse if we also paid an homage to Andre Leon Talley, Vivienne Westwood. Like, there's so many amazing people we lost to fashion. Issey Miyake. Like, it didn't need to just be Karl Lagerfeld. It could have been an entire red carpet in memoriam of all the people we lost. Missed opportunity, in my opinion. With that, I'm gonna go. This is pretty much all I wanted to talk about, my looks and sort of the theme of the Met Gala. Above all else, I hope you're inspired. I hope that you create looks and illustrations on this theme. While it is a little repetitive, you know, black, white, sunglasses, leather gloves, I would be excited to see what interesting, unique concepts anybody could create for this. With that, I'm gonna go. I'll see y'all later. Stay tuned for some potential Met Gala illustrations and other illustrations coming forward. And I'll talk to you later. Bye!